What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to ESEN, the best show on the network, Frankie the Yankee Show. We got some breaking news, and I had to jump in and talk about it. Obviously, I had to bring a special guest, someone who's dear to my heart, my brother from Chicago, my boy Mike Hughes. You guys already know him. What's going on, Mike?
What's going on, baby?
Crazy, crazy, crazy start to the winter signings. That's what's crazy, man. So let's just get on to it. Shohei Ohtani, ladies and gentlemen, the now former Los Angeles Angels pitcher slash crazy hitter, is staying in California, but this time he's going to the Dodgers, signing a 10-year contract going up worth $700 million. Crazy, crazy signing there. I mean, it's a smart move on the Dodgers' part, but for $700 million, that's insane.
Yeah, nah, yeah, 100%. And it's I don't even know, Frankie. I don't even know what to say right now. That's crazy. It's $70 million per year till he's 40 years old. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what to put into words. I mean, you just got outplayed, man. You just got outplayed, got outworked. Everybody else in the league probably didn't even come close to competing with that. So I mean, you got to give your hats off to him, man. That's what they do. It's what they do.
I mean, by the looks of it, signing a $700 million contract, it makes it seem that everyone else was giving him the projective that we thought he was going to get, the $600 million contract, because we all have been saying this since last year that when he became a free agent, he will be close to or being able close to signing a $600 million contract.
Right.
Um, a lot of suitors are in this hunt for Shohei Ohtani. I know the Dodgers are in it, the Cubs were in it, and I know the Blue Jays somehow, some way, the Blue Jays got into it and became favorites. I'm so glad he's staying in America and not going to Canada of
Yeah.
Toronto. But 700 million just goes to show that everybody else was at least going 600 or a little bit above that, and the Dodgers was like, the hell with that, bro. We are a franchise money making team. Shohei, we're gonna give you 700. But what does it say for the organization? Like, I understand that the MLB don't have salary caps, but they're giving 700 million to Shohei Ohtani. That's just one pitcher. They still have some holes in that pitching lineup to fill up.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it for what it is as well, though. The Dodgers are an amazing organization and without a doubt have the best farm system in baseball when it comes to just developing guys and just having their best ability to bring in guys who can develop people. You can draft correctly and you can bring in guys who have a lot of tick and a lot of upside, but you have to actually make those guys legitimate. And they have that. I mean, right now, two of their top five prospects are both pitchers. You have Nick Frasso and and Gavin Stone, pardon me. And you look at a couple other guys that they've had throughout the pipeline. A lot of them are pitchers, a lot of them are outfielders and third basemen, catchers, etc. And I'm going to imagine that a few of those guys get moved for cheaper contracts to get guys who are younger, maybe a Dylan Cease of the world. I don't think they're done yet. I don't think they're done yet whatsoever. I think it's going to be interesting to see what they could potentially do. But when you have one of the best farm systems in baseball next to the Chicago Cubs, you can definitely do that. And you can make those claims and say, hey, man, listen, like, this might be our only move this offseason, which I imagine is their only move this offseason, unless Clayton Kershaw decides to come back on a cheap deal. But which now, if I'm Clayton Kershaw, man, maybe I do run it back for a year just to say I played with Ohtani. But you have to take all those things into consideration that they believe in their farm system. They believe in, obviously, the guys they have right now in Betts, Freeman, and now Ohtani. And you have to look at that and say, why not take a shot?
Right. And this lineup is crazy just looking at it. I mean the top four, top five,
Crazy.
this batting lineup is insane. I know you got Mookie Betts starting off. He'll be followed with Shohei Ohtani at the DH because Shohei Ohtani is going to be batting next year. He will not be pitching, so that's a little sad for Dodgers fans, but it's worth the wait. It truly is because the man is coming back with a surgery elbow, Tommy John. Everybody knows when you come back from Tommy John, you're way better than what you were before that. I think Shohei Ohtani's not gonna miss a beat. Just the fact that he's able to play next year and just bat just goes to show that the man is gonna do great things in the Dodger uniform, especially in that stadium. I don't think Dodger Stadium is as big as people really think. It's really easy to hit home runs in Dodger Stadium. So this man is gonna hit straight bombs
It's
over
better
there,
than
and
Petco. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
definitely, definitely. And I saw this picture and I want to post it up. Look at that big three. Look at that big three. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. That's the first top three batters that people got to go through before anyone else. That could be an easy 3 home runs in a row right there, back to back to back.
Right.
It's scary to look at, but it's nothing more scarier than this picture right here, baby. Oh, look at that big three. I mean, I'll take Anthony Rizzo out, or I mean, Garrett Cole out and put Anthony Rizzo in there. But I love this right here. We'll get more to that in a little bit. But Shohei Ohtani going to the Dodgers, man. This kind of showed that the Dodgers were desperate. The Dodgers are truly, truly desperate, and it's not nothing bad. Anyone should go after Shohei Ohtani with a pitcher of his caliber playing, um, and stuff like that. But they're so desperate, and it confuses me now. And I know we're mentioning it and stuff. They still have some pieces to fill in,
Mm.
and now that Shohei Ohtani's in the Dodgers, this is gonna put into players' mind that I want to go play with this guy. This is a guy that I know that can help win a championship. He didn't obviously do it with the Angels because it's the Angels. They didn't have nobody. We're talking about a team that gave a crazy amount of farm systems to get a player or two during the trade deadline just to get rid of them towards the end of the season. So I mean, the Angels were making no sense at all. So this was a good signing for Shohei Ohtani to get the bag. One of the, if I'm not mistaken, the highest pay rate or payroll, or not payroll. How should I say this? The highest signing contract money wise in the Northern America. I'm pretty sure because this man is making crazy money. Shohei, give us some, bro. That's a lot. I don't think you need all that. What do you really need? A PS6 that's already made in Japan for you guys?
Nah, for sure. And I think there's a lot to be said. There's a lot of conversations, you can make. And I love that they said in North America because obviously you have the Mbappes of the world and the Messis of the world. The national football landscape is so much more different. $700 million contracts really aren't that outlandish or never seen before in the game of soccer or football or whatever you want to call it. I think it's really cool though that baseball is finally getting to this point. We're starting to see at a broader scale of, hey man, listen, the best players are going to get paid. I know Bryce Harper's trying to renegotiate an extension right now, and that has nothing to do with the years. I wouldn't say, you know what I mean? We saw Manny Machado do the same thing after Carlos Correa, Dansby Swanson and company, and Bogarts all got paid. You started to see somebody get a little frustrated because now guys are getting paid more than him. And it's going to be interesting to see who else wants to re-up on their deals, just to not to get to 700 million, but maybe get a little closer to 4 to 5. Just because of that landscape now of what Ohtani is set and the president. And I think it's going to be really cool to see that moving forward. I don't feel bad. You know what I mean? I don't feel bad for the owners having to cough this up. I don't feel bad for the organizations because they're billionaires at the end of the day. I do feel bad for the fans, though. The fans that are going to have to pay $20 for a beer, the fans that are going to have to pay $400 to sit in the nosebleeds at Dodger Stadium. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's unfortunate, but it's just kind of what baseball is becoming. It's what it is today, and I would take going to Wrigley Field on a Tuesday afternoon at a 1:20 start, $5 tickets in the bleachers, live my life rather than paying $70 just to stand outside. So I mean, I think there's a lot of different moves that can be made now. We're going to start to see a lot of different organizations start making moves, and now there's a president of, okay, Otani's off the board. Who's the next domino to go? We know Juan Soto, obviously, what fell the other day. And now we're going to see what happens with him this free agency. You know what I mean? Now it's okay. The president is $700 million. What is Ohtani going to make, and what is Soto going to make at the end of next year? Who knows? Is that going to change? Is that just a random occurrence that everybody understands isn't going to change the market? Does it change the market? It's going to be cool to see.
I don't think I'll see a player or we'll see a player that makes this much money in a long time. I understand, what you're saying about the Juan Soto deal that could possibly happen next year. Um, but this is a player. Shohei Ohtani is a player who's not just pitching, but bats as well. He's a two-way player. We don't see very, very much two-way players in today's era of baseball. So I see why he got the 700 million, which is why I don't think anyone else will get there, unless you're a two-way player and an absolute monster. This is a two-time MVP winner, uh, and I listen. Why I love Juan Soto, I truly do. I don't see him getting it. I see him probably getting at least 350, probably 400. I mean, just because of Shohei getting 700, he's gonna want to push that up a bit. Um, but this is also gonna affect other pitchers around him. Blake Snell is still on the free agent market,
Mm-hmm.
and he's right now, obviously the second choice, right, or jumped up to number one now that Shohei's with the Dodgers. He's got to be a number one or at least number two behind Yoshi, my boy Yoshi, coming to New York for that meeting on Monday, and hopefully, he goes back with a contract. But Blake Snell is on there. Do you think Blake Snell's going to be like, well, listen, I'm not going to get 700 million, but now that Shohei's got that, maybe I could, bump it up and try and get more. Do you think Blake Snell will try and get something higher than what he projected to get?
Uh, Not really. Not really. I think the president is set when it comes to that market. A guy like you said, a guy like Otani, they do what they do and they do it extremely well. You know what I
Right,
mean? Two-way players in that sense. And we've never seen somebody do it this well ever. You can make
right,
yeah, you get the old heads that can make a debate about Babe Ruth going up against guys at the YMCA, and that's cool. That's no problem. I'm fine with that debate, but and no disrespect to Frankie the Yankee about Babe Ruth, but we understand that what the level of talent that Shohei Ohtani is one showing, and two going up against every single day. I mean, you got pitchers throwing 105 miles an hour, 95-mile-an-hour sliders, 85, 89-mile-per-hour curveballs. That wasn't seen in the early 1900s. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. We have to be real.
right,
And then you look at Shohei Ohtani, and he's out here just pimping home runs. I got a chance. I went to a Chicago White Sox game. I ain't gonna lie. I went to a Chicago White Sox game this past summer, and I got to see Shohei Ohtani, and that was the only reason I was there. And I got to see him pimp out a home run in person. I forget. I think it was against Lucas Giolito, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been somebody else, but I think it was Giolito. Which is weird because they ended up being teammates. But it's something to where you have to look at that and say Blake Snell at the end of the day is Blake Snell. You know what I mean? You're going to pitch once every 5 days, and that's it. You can be a world-renowned, all-around pitcher in baseball, a Cy Young like he was this year, just like Garrett Cole. But that market is set. You know what I mean? What's Blake Snell going to walk into and say? I'm going to pimp out 40 home runs this year and bat 300. It's just not.
right,
You know what I mean? Like you're not going to take the mound. There's a DH now. You're not batting. It's just you're not a two-way player. It's not even the same conversation. So I don't think that'll change at all. I do think the Cy Young Award from Blake Snell will definitely upgrade the market to now to say, hey, I'm the best pitcher in baseball. Whether you believe that or not, he has the argument of as of right now, I am the best pitcher in baseball. But I think at the end of the day, he'll probably get around $300 million, something like that. I would imagine. But it's going to be interesting to see the future of guys like Otani's to see if there are going to be more two-way players coming in, pumping out. I'm sure there's a bunch of 12-year-olds in Japan and in America and in the Dominican Republic right now trying to be like Shohei Ohtani. And it's going to be interesting to see, like, Frankie, let's be real. We see the Steph Curry effect and how it changes every single kid in the world's aspect of what is basketball. Now kids are shooting half-court shots on the regular, trying to be like Steph. You see guys like Tyrese Halliburton. You see other guys Trae Youngs of the world trying to become that. If more people try to grow up and develop into a two-way player, the level of Shohei Ohtani, if they could potentially reach that, we might see a whole new market 5 to 10 years from now of guys who are able to do it.
right. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I think that this is going to affect Angels a little bit as well because realistically, all those Angel fans that were filling up that stadium, even when they were bad, they were going there to see Shohei Ohtani. You want to go there and you want to, witness greatness. It's like when you're, as me, as a Yankee fan, I want to go and I want to, see Aaron Judge. Now I want to go and I want to see Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. I want to see Alex Verdugo as well. Shit, I want to see this whole new lineup. The hell with it. But for Angel fans, or shall I say LA fans, because I feel now we're not going to see a full stadium in LA no more. I feel like LA is now going to be looked at as the new Oakland A's. They're
Oh,
not going to
you
have,
mean the Angels?
yeah, the Angels. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like they're going to be looked at as the new Oakland A's, where they're not going to have stadium sellouts and stuff like that. I feel like half that fan base is now looking at Shohei Ohtani Dodger jerseys, and all those people are now going to go to Dodger Stadium, and it's gonna it's gonna bring up that market for the Dodgers really high, which is what you mentioned earlier. $20 hot dogs or beers or anything like that. I mean, it's gonna be crazy there. And I feel bad for Mike Trout, man. I feel really bad for
Yeah.
Mike Trout. But then again, I don't. But then again, I don't because you know what? That was your fault for signing that deal
Yep.
with the Angels in the first place. So it kind of sucks. But whatever.
Yeah, man. I do want to ask you though. Like, I know I got to get out of here in a couple minutes, but there was a conversation early in the offseason saying if the Dodgers were to somehow get Shohei Ohtani, that they were going to do whatever it took to trade for Mike Trout. Do you think after this contract you can realistically look at that and say that that's still possible? Because Mike Trout's making what, $500 million?
Yeah, something like that. I do think it's gonna come to a point where the Angels are playing it smart right now, and I feel like they're gonna dangle Mike Trout towards the trade deadline. Um,
If he's
they
healthy.
obviously, if he's healthy, they obviously want to keep one good player, and Mike Trout is that guy, that one good player, if he could stay healthy, like you mentioned. If he's on the field or even on the batter box batting, the man is he's up there. He really is when he's healthy. There's reasons why we're saying that like at least 10 times within a sentence because that man cannot stay healthy. So if he's healthy, he's a beast. He's dominant, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's what the Angels have looked at, and that's why they're like, we're not trading him now. But if this man by like May or June, and he's already hurt and he's not playing so much games, the Angels are going to dangle him for a trade, and people are going to do it. People will go out there and be like, listen, we can use someone like Mike Trout. We don't care about his injury health or anything like that. We have a backup situation in case that happens. Um, so the Dodgers can go out and reunite Mike Trout with Shohei Ohtani, but I don't think Shohei's going to want to do that. I think Shohei's going to put his mind into it and bring out his voice and tell the Dodgers like, yo, listen, I don't. As much as I love Mike Trout, I've played with him. The man isn't gonna, he's not gonna be effective for us. He's not gonna stay on the field. He's not gonna be healthy. I can tell you from experience right now, it's not a good move to go ahead and trade for someone like Mike Trout because when you go out and you trade for someone like Mike Trout, the Angels are gonna look for a heavy package on him just because the man is Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Like, but if I'm the Dodgers, I would like what we have right now. Listen, you got Shohei Ohtani. That's it. Boom. Now go out and get like little pieces. Get another starter. There's Jordan Montgomery out there. There's Blake Snell out there. If you want to make a big splash and get Blake Snell, that would be crazy. Resign Clayton Kershaw. That would be a crazy 1, 2, 3 right there. Clayton Kershaw, Shohei Ohtani. Well, Shohei Ohtani first, then Clayton Kershaw, and then Blake Snell or anything like that. The way you're gonna do it,
All right.
and then go out and
You
get
still have
bullpen help.
Walker Bueller coming back too.
Yeah, see, like you get some small pieces. You don't have to make a big splash. You just made the hugest splash in MLB history by getting Shohei Ohtani. I don't think you need to make any more bigger moves than what you really think you need to do. Go out and get little pieces to help build you as a championship contending team. Like I said, get some bullpen help. You can never go wrong with getting bullpen help. The Dodgers definitely need that because after last year they had a trash bullpen. So they can definitely use some bullpen guys on that team. But before you head out, Mike, and before I end the show, I want to get your thoughts real quick. Juan Soto coming to the Yankees, baby. Juan Soto coming to the Yankees. So it was a seven player trade. Not only did the Yankees get Juan Soto, they also got what's this guy's name? He's a center fielder as well.
Oh, he's a
Uh,
defensive player. Starts with a G.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
It
It
does.
don't matter.
It does matter. It does matter.
It don't matter to me. All I cared about was Juan Soto. I don't care about the second player. Hell, they could have gave us a goddamn mascot if they wanted. I wouldn't have cared. Um, but it did hurt me a little bit to see one of the pitchers go and Michael King. That's one of my He was one of my favorite bullpen pitchers, elevating into one of a guy who could have been a great starter because towards the end of the season he had 7 starts and he pitched absolutely phenomenal as a starter at the end of the season. I think that was a good swap for the Padres. They also got Drew Thorpe, our number 5 prospect pitcher. They got Johnny Brito, they got Randy Vasquez, and they also got Kyle Higashioka. Um, in return for 2 players, Juan Soto and the other guy who I
Trent
truly
Grisham.
don't care about. Yeah, Trent Grisham. There you go. Boom. And I think it was a smart trade. It hurts, but when you make a trade like that, you have to hurt for a little bit. Like you have to. You're not going to see a player like Juan Soto come to your team on the cheap. Excuse me. So what I've been saying to people is it hurts, but it's worth it because if you look at it, we still have some of our people. We got Jason Dominguez still on our, we still got Spencer. We still have Austin Wells. Like we still have our top prospect farm people. So it was a smart trade. Also, I do believe if we can go out there and get Yoshi to come on this roster and come on this lineup, we're winning. We're winning MLB winter signings. I don't care what anybody says. Just adding, just adding Alex Verdugo, which by the way is a rare trade. You will never see Yankees and Red Sox trade really often. And for the Yankees to get Alex Verdugo, one of the Red Sox basic best players behind Devers, if I'm not mistaken, because they don't have nobody else behind Devers. Um, that's a big win on the Yankees part. And they gave the Red Sox nobody, bro. They gave
Yeah.
the Red Sox three trash pitchers that I'm like, ill.
Well,
Thank you.
I actually looked at those guys, and I'm looking at their numbers, and I was talking to one of my guys that works with the Cubs. The Red Sox actually, not to hype up the Red Sox because I know I know I'm in enemy territory. But the Cubs actually did part ways with a very respected individual that now works for the Red Sox, and I'm thinking the way they look at the metrics and the way they're looking at some of these pitchers, I think they think that they can get something out of them that the Yankees couldn't. If they can, I think those guys might end up looking a little bit better than a lot of people thought. But I don't think those guys would have ever turned into anything through the Yankees farm system, just because of the way the Yankees are. They're going for the higher velocity. They're going for the guys who have multiple arsenals in their bags, and these guys are really just high velocity type guys. So I think that's something the Red Sox are looking more towards. You got guys like Chris Sale that are kind of aging. You need some guys that can just throw some heat. But I don't know. I think the Alex Verdugo trade was really cool. And as it pertains to Juan Soto, you got to keep Volpe. You got to keep Jason Dominguez. You got to keep the Martian. So I think they got out of that pretty clean, considering what they gave up. Now, you did give up several key pieces, and if you gave up Dominguez or Volpe, you probably would have only had to give up two, but obviously you don't want to give up guys like that. So they got out of it pretty clean. I just think that the issue for me is a healthy Stanton, a healthy Judge, and then a
Yeah.
Juan Soto who doesn't play defense. We haven't seen him play defense consistently since 2019 of his rookie year when they won the World Series with the Nationals. So, or that was 18 or no, I think that was 19 because I think the Red Sox won in 18.
Yeah, yeah. They won in
But
19.
yeah, I just think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think for a rental, it's very risky. I was on the board of, hey man, if Shohei doesn't sign, go after Mike Trout. Trade the entire farm, Dominguez included, for Mike Trout. Have Mike Trout, Stanton, and Judge. It's a whole different conversation. But a 1 year rental for Juan Soto, it's make it or break it now for guys like Anthony Rizzo. For guys, everybody's saying Soto being there is going to make things a lot easier. I think it brings more pressure because this kid's on a 1 year deal. He wants $400 million. He doesn't play defense, so do you want to give him $400 million? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But I mean, at the end of the day, if they can get back to the World Series, if they can get to the promised land with guys healthy like Rodon and Cole and Judge, I think it's all going to be worth it at the end of the day. But it's just going to be the inevitable. You just got to wait and see. And I think that's the worst part is that we're going to have to wait all the way till next October to have this conversation. But it's looking good on paper. But again, I said the same thing about the Padres when they brought in Juan Soto the first time. I said, man, it's going to be crazy. And then we saw how that turned out. Now, it's not Juan Soto's fault that didn't work out, but you can see how injuries and lack of depth and lack of prospects to come bring up, it is definitely going to impact that moving forward. But I think it's a solid trade. They definitely had to do something. And if they could bring in somebody like Yamamoto, I definitely think that's kind of like the cherry on top that makes things a little bit cleaner for me because, you still got to worry about guys like Cole and guys like Rodon to see what they could potentially do. And then Severino's gone. So, bringing in Yamamoto, that's not only is that an upgrade from Severino, but that's also his replacement. So I think they'd be in a really good place moving forward.
If we get Yamamoto, I'm forever calling the Yankees the New York Yamasotos. I swear to God, it's going to be
I
an
know you
amazing.
will. I know you.
It's truly amazing, and I hear you on the rental with Juan Soto. I've been hearing it on the Hot Stove on the Yes channel with the Yankees Network and stuff like that. And I do agree. It's a now or never type thing. If you want to go ahead and keep Juan Soto as a rental,
Yeah.
But if I'm Brian Cashman and I'm the owner, I'm if I don't get Yamamoto, then I'm gonna look for an extension on Juan Soto. Like that's the best thing to do is go ahead and look for an extension on Juan Soto. Um, but even if you do get Yamamoto, your first priority is, do we want to keep Juan Soto as a rental, or do we want to extend him at least 2 years? We don't want to give him so much money. So do we want to, extend him 2 years, 3 years? But on paper, like you said, this team is looking legit. The Yankees look like a team, excuse me, a team that should make it to the World Series, or look like they can make it to the World Series. Then again, like you said, you threw out some names. DJ LeMahieu, he hasn't been healthy the last couple of years. Anthony Rizzo, he's coming back from an injury from last year. Who realistically is because someone tried to kill him, some steroid head over there in San Diego, try to literally take his head off and ruin his entire season, because the man was, like you said, he was last year. All right, I'm going to bring this up. Like you said, last year at this time, Anthony Rizzo was on pace of an MVP season. The man absolutely was dominant before he got hurt. He was batting over 300. He was hitting home runs. He was getting on base. Like the man was on fire at the start of the season, and I'm like, holy hell, where did Mike come out with this theory, and it's actually happening? And it's because of the shift change and the rule changes and stuff like that, and it helped. It truly helped. And then
Mhm.
somebody tried, some steroid freak over here trying to take his head off because he knew he wasn't going to make it back to first base, and he felt all butthurt about it, and it just ruined his season last year with the Yankees. But if he could come back being healthy and do what he did last year at the start of the season, but do it in a full season, man, this lineup is gonna. This lineup is gonna be crazy. I'm talking about DJ LeMahieu at the start, followed by Juan Soto, putting Judge at the 3. Batting cleanup will be Anthony Rizzo, Gleyber Torres at the 5. Giancarlo Stanton, if I can get Giancarlo Stanton from the year we traded for him from Miami, that would be absolutely amazing. Follow at number 7, you can have what's this guy's name? The Everson Pereira. You can have him coming out at number 7. Number 8, but Volpe, Wells at number 9. Like, bro, this lineup is gonna be legit. All I need is Yamamoto to get signed, and then my prayers will be answered. I swear I will go to the New York headquarters of the Yankee Stadium, and I will go and kiss Brian Cashman's feet. I swear, because the last 6 years, I'm like, we need to get rid of this guy. Then he comes out this year and he's like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna make the Yankees into a Mecca team. Don't say it. Don't say it. Be about it. I want to see it. Go get Yamamoto, and then we could talk about that. Greg chimes in. He said, if the Yankees don't make the World Series, will Aaron Boone get fired or
Yeah.
be fired? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's even here this year. I thought he was gonna get fired last year. No lie about it. I swear to God, I thought he was gonna get fired. But
Yeah.
then they ended up bringing him again in another year. So let's see what he can do. If he doesn't make the World Series, I do agree. I think he gets fired. But honestly, realistically, I don't think we're not gonna make. I don't think we won't make the World Series. I think we will make the World Series. Um, Start of the season starts on March, I think 28th, if I'm not mistaken, March 28th, March 30th, something like that. Yankees start their game against the Houston Astros in Houston. I can't wait for that one. Jay McLovin is sad right now. I know for a fact because he's got to deal with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge first. But I can't wait for the start of the season. And this is just the start of winter signings. There's more to come, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned. Frankie the Yankee Show coming back after a month of being off. Winter signing underway. We're gonna see some crazy, crazy things happening. We just seen one just a few minutes ago with Shohei Ohtani signing with the Dodgers, 10-year, $700 million contract. I'm your boy Frankie. See, hey, yo, Mike, tell these people over here at ESEN where they can find you at.
Yeah, man. You can always check me out Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at the Shy.Kid. You can check me out on Welcome to Mars podcast with my guy Rob Scott. Mike on the Mike podcast. Obviously, I'm writing articles for Chicago State of Mind on Substack. It's just a little app. It's for free, little orange app on any device. I'm writing articles on the WNBA, the Bulls, the Cubs, all of baseball. Got to go write one now for work on Shohei Ohtani. But it is always a blast hopping on my boy, Frankie. Hope you're doing amazing, baby. I hope you're doing amazing. Definitely can't wait to see Anthony Rizzo back in the Bronx, back in Chicago next year. definitely going to be at that game, especially now that I won't be paying $70 for a beer because I don't have Shohei Ohtani. So, I'm salty. I'm salty, and that's okay. But my pockets feel so much lighter now that I don't have Shohei Ohtani. So, I appreciate you having me on, brother. I'm gonna see you later.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes, sir.
Later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in here, Frankie the Yankee Show, where we talked about Shohei Ohtani signing with the LA Dodgers, $700 million contract for 10 years. Insane. Juan Soto traded from the San Diego Padres to the New York Yankees, coming to the Bronx, joining Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, DJ LeMahieu, and so much more. It's going to be an interesting 2024 season in baseball. Stay tuned. I will be back with more breaking news on MLB signings, free agency, trades, and so much more. I'm your host, your narrator, your producer, your director, Frankie the Yankee. See you guys next time.